All right, welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green, bringing you brand new interviews right here on YouTube. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you think you can ask better questions of my guests than I can, go down to the Patreon link in the description, click on the appropriate tier, and you will be asking the questions of my guests next. And you can be watching these interviews up to 2 weeks before anyone else. We've got a great guest today. I'm excited that he's here from the band Enuff's Enough. Donnie Vie. He has a great single called Party Time. It's been in my head for the last 24 hours. I can't shake it. This guy knows how to write a catchy song. We're going to talk about that and more right after this. All right, here he is, Donnie Vie.
Hey, how you doing?
Donnie, I'm glad you're here. I've been wanting to get you for a while, and you're not always the easiest guy to get a hold of. You're busy. You're working a lot. I got to say, the first time we formally met was here in Las Vegas, a place called the Dive Bar. We brought you in to play a couple. Yeah, you already know where we're going. We brought you in to play a couple songs, and you were fantastic. You brought Jakey Lee with you. This was the first time that anyone had seen Jakey Lee in 20 years or so, who knows? And it was a lot of fun. And then you came back a few times, and sometimes you remember
it more interesting than
you were definitely an interesting guy, to say the least. And after a few drinks, you like to jam, but sometimes you didn't know the song you were jamming. But you jammed anyway, and it was an interesting thing. And then you were supposed to come out and play with my band, Sin City Rejects, and all the guys in the band said, Donnie's coming tonight. And I said, I don't believe it. But I sat down and I learned the entire Enuff's Enough catalog. I was ready to jam, and you didn't show up. But
oh, man, I was sick. I was coming off a different antidepressant. It was called Lithium. And I came out, the reason I was out there was to sing Instant Karma video and a single that I released. And I couldn't even sing Instant Karma, man. I didn't know how it goes and stuff. This Lithium, they told me, don't just stop taking that. But I had problems. I couldn't sing. I couldn't remember what I'm doing. I just wasn't myself. So I did stop taking it. And I just couldn't make it out, man. I wanted to badly, but I just couldn't make it out. I was too fucked up in the head.
Yeah, we'll do it another time. But I got to say, you look good, and your music is as high quality as ever. And we're going to get into all the things you have going on. I want to start with the most obvious thing, Donnie. I'm one of these people who I have a hard time accepting a band called Enuff's Enough that you are not the singer for. I personally I don't get it. And not too long ago, you put out a statement that you were going to have your own Enuff's Enough, possibly. You kind of tease a different future. But you just recently signed a deal with Chip, with Cleopatra Records, to release the back catalog. And also Chip appears in your new music video. So you tell me, what is the future of Enuff's Enough and your involvement?
Well, you're looking at... You're currently looking at, when you go to see them, that's the future of Enuff's Enough. Not necessarily by my choice. Once I got it all together, went through a long rehabilitation program and everything, and then I got out and did beautiful things and stuff. And then I suffer from really bad anxiety, bipolar or anxiety, paranoid anxiety now. So shit, I'm sorry. Can you hear that TV?
A little bit.
Should I go over there and turn it off?
Turn it off.
All right, hang on 1 second.
Right. I don't know how to tell him what's worse than the TV is that phone that keeps going off. Donnie's got a chat line going. Donnie, what's the other noise? What is that, your phone? What is all that?
Oh, that's, I don't know how to shut it off. It's Messenger on... Jesus, how do I turn that off? Let me see.
Yeah, you got a lot of messages coming in.
Maybe let me turn off Safari because I'm not using that right now. Let me see. No, it's not in. How do I turn that fucking thing off, man? I don't know. It's Facebook Messenger, and I don't have it. I don't go. Oh, here we go.
Maybe, yeah, maybe X out your Facebook.
Yeah, I don't use. I don't do
tell.
Messenger or anything on my computer. I don't know what turned it on. It's this Google Chrome that I got to use for these StreamYard or Streamline things. It doesn't use Safari.
Gotcha.
What was I saying? Oh, so went through this whole program and everything, and you know, I'm the first guy that'll own all of my all of my baggage and all of the shit that I was and you know, I went through. And what I was saying before, that you know, I've always suffered from bad anxiety, really, really bad, and sometimes it's debilitating. It's getting worse. You know, bipolar depression, functional autism, ADHD, you name it, I got it. It come with a manual. And but in any case, that's been that's a later diagnosis. But with Chip and the band and stuff, it became you know, it became really difficult to work together because of difference of opinion. And you know, I had a vision, and he had a different vision, and we just stopped getting along. I mean, I was, definitely definitely on a lot of drugs and stuff like that, but I always delivered when it came to a record or a live show and stuff like that. But there was some things that I felt, I've always been, everything's about the fans, you know. I mean, people might not, if you believe me or not, but it's always been about the fans, and it's always been about the art and the craft. Being rich and famous is something that was never my aspirations. You know what I mean? It's nice to get some money, but just be a great artist to affect people, like the great stuff that I learned and listened to, that how it affected me, you know. And a lot of fans have told me really nice things about it all. And as I say, well, and as we're towards the end of the band, we had a lot of arguments and a lot of disagreements about the set list, and making another record, because I wanted to make a record with the guys that were in the band, so I didn't have to pay them merchandise for nothing. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of disagreements. I felt we had a lot of great records, and I even had some solo records, and that we could give the fans a better show, you know. And but it was a lazy situation. There's no rehearsals. There's not learning either. It's the same set list for 20 years. You know what I mean? And there's other shit going around, like, you know, there's other people taking credit for things that's not necessarily deserved. And, you know, you give something, it's one thing to give it, and it's another thing for it to be taken. And there's a lot of stuff. I mean, since they basically went on without me, it's kind of like they fired me. And it was a pretty tough last tour. It's just since then, I had a dinner with Chip, and you know, we went out to dinner just because he stole the name and the trademark and everything when I was in the rehab. He stole all that, or not, I won't say stole it. He went and filed for it, and solely filed for it. I was like, I have no entitlement to use the name. I can't release anything. I can't perform like that. And I'm like, how can you do that to me? You know what I mean? That's basically, you know, that's me, that band. My voice, and you know, the melodic songwriting and stuff like that. And how can you do that? I mean, how are you entitled to to this? And he's like, well, I've been working hard and keeping the name alive and this and that. I said, I don't consider what you're doing keeping the name alive. You know, I consider it you know, kind of a devalue. Now, I don't want to just sit here and rip on Chip, but I went and bought the rest of the Europe and everything. I got the name and trademark for there, and Japan and stuff, and I'm not getting it to stop him from doing anything. I wanted it because it's been about 7-8 years since I've seen all those friends and fans, and I really want to play those songs again and sing those songs for those people and see everybody. I miss them. And so I proposed to sing, you know, with the band, sing with Enuff's Enough, you know, but not on the capacity of what they're doing. They're you know, opening up on cock rock conglomeration tours and stuff. No disrespect, that's just what I call it. Right. And you know, and riding around in a van and this and that, and a bus with 3 other bands or something. I'm not into that. I can't do that, you know, and it's for no money. basically. And you know, we could have done things right had he took a break from that and did his own thing, went out as Chips Enuff for a while, or Chips Enuff's Enough, and then come back together after, you know, after a bunch of years and do some really well promoted shows, some big shows and of our own. And I know that they would, you know, myself, I did one show before the COVID hit, and people couldn't even get in. You know what I mean? And made some good money. And that's what I was telling him. I said, we can do that, and it looks more special. And it's and that's what the fans want to hear, me singing. They don't want to hear you singing. They want to hear me. And then we were talking about Japan. He goes, yeah, well, we can go to Japan possibly, because then we could split it. You sing like 8 songs, I'll sing like 7 songs. Like, negative. So I'm the lead singer. You know what I mean? You play the bass. I sing lead vocals, and that's what people want to see and people want to hear. They're not going to want to, you know what I mean? So he just shut it all down. He says, nah, me and the gang would never go for it. I'm like, who the fuck are those guys? They're not Enuff's Enough. They're not any records except your current ones, and those aren't Enuff's Enough records. You know what I mean? It's a different product inside the rapper. And you know, and just a lot of it. I just felt very, very violated, you know. And so when we did that Cleopatra deal, but in any case, the dinner, he shut me down. He says, no, he goes, if I do any shows with you, that'll ruin my thing. And I'm like, well, what about the fans? The fans want to see me and hear me, and I'm willing to do these, you know, and do them the right way. And maybe not, I'll even, you know, just sit right in with you and your guys, you know, and he, you know, no way, he wasn't having it. And it seemed like he was already prepared for this conversation, but he just basically spent the rest of the dinner, you know, letting me know what a fuckhead I was and a nightmare to work with. And, you know, and without taking into account a lot of other things that really heavily have to do with stuff, you know what I mean? And you know, basically I said, well, he goes, I'm doing this for me now. He goes, I've wanted to do this. It's my last part of my life. I want to do this for me. I said, well, then do it as your name. You know, I'm not using the name. And so I'm going to go over there with a cast of all-star cast, you know, and get some guys who have name brand, and go over and do like a week or 2 over in Europe and England, Scotland, UK. And, you know, because I'm entitled to doing that now, and I should be entitled to doing it, as I wrote all the songs. I'm the singer, you know what I mean? So, of course, I would have rather done it with him, because, you know, he's Chips Enuff, and that's people want to see us get together for some reason, you know what I mean? Because they're used to seeing that and this and that, and he wasn't interested in it. And so I left that dinner with a lot less hope than I had when we were talking about doing the record deal and stuff like that. And we were talking a lot every day and stuff like that. But then those talks all ended, and after that dinner, and that was it. And I don't feel very hopeful. I mean, of course, if something came up where it made a lot of sense for me to do it, you know what I mean? But I don't see that happening. And, you know, I would do it in a heartbeat, but that's not happening. So I'm focusing on, I don't want to focus on that anyway. You know what I mean? That's the past. I finished that up. It was my whole life, my legacy or whatever. But now what I'm doing now is really where my heart is, you know. But that's something like that is easy, you know. Just come sit in, slide in, go over and do a bunch of great shows, you know. But and come back and focus on my thing, you know. I got all these solo records, and the fans are amazing, and they've stuck with me, and that's where my head is at. I kind of even want to separate myself from the name Enuff's Enough. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's a lot of baggage that comes with that, you know, and especially, you know, a lot of my earlier behavior. What you saw at the dive bar was me having fun and very overdid it. You know, I'm excessive, so I overdid it. I was overly drunk. I apologize for that. I apologize for that. But I think the first time I came, I think it was really good, you know.
The first time was great, and there's no need to apologize. Donnie, let me clear it up a little bit. What Chip did is called a race to the trademark. The mark was vacant. A lot of bands leave it vacant after their big albums, record companies. Chip goes in. You were getting help at the time. He files for the mark for the name. It's very expensive to fight these things and appeal these things. He goes out with what I agree is a less than superior product. It is not the Enuff's Enough that people have wanted to see. And as you said, it's on the bottom of the bill of these tours that probably are not the best for the brand. So what I think that you're saying is that you have the rights to do it as Enuff's Enough in other countries where these marks that he has do not apply. And also, I believe what you're saying is that you're not looking to be on the road the rest of your life reliving something that you'd already done. You have had a long career of your solo music, which is great, and we're going to talk about it. Yes, I think the fans would rather see you play a few shows as Enuff's Enough, a few quality shows together, than be on the road every single night playing laundromats and pizza places and pubs. Yeah. And I think that people do want to hear you sing the songs that you wrote. So I think what you're saying is the future is there will be some international shows and some one-offs with you as Enuff's Enough, which is what you have created.
Yeah, that's what that's what the plan is. You know, it's still everything's still weird, you know, going over there and playing, and you know, from the virus and everything. So it's still kind of shut down. But you know, I just hoped that I could. I'm just talking to a booking agent when I get off the phone, interview here, and to like putting, you know, just going out and playing the string of Enuff's Enough shows really fast. It's not anything that needs a lot of preparation. It's like, you know, you get a couple of great guys, a few great guys, and you know, there's a lot of guys are out of work right now, so I can get some really cool guys and shit. You know what I mean? But just go over there and bang it all out. See everybody, bang those out, have a good time. You know, see if I can't up the value a little bit of the name. But what I'm doing is, well, of course, I just released this flash drive, this thing right here. It's
yeah, we're going to get into that, Donnie. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Any chance of Vic Fox playing with you again? Your original drummer.
What if I did Enuff's Enough run?
Yeah.
I'm really not a fond of Vic Fox. You know what I mean? Of course, that people would love to see that. So for that matter, I haven't seen or talked to him in ages since he went and filed copyright ownership on a bunch of my songs after he was out of the band. You know, but we just settled that. But I'm not really fond of. I would go with Chip and Vic and just get you know, the guitar player Enuff's Enough's using right now is a great player. I really always liked him as a player, and he sings and everything, and he's an artist of his own. And when I knew him, I thought that he was a brother. You know what I mean? I thought that you know, and I treated him like I never treated him like shit or anything like that. But you know, I would use him or not. Actually, I'll get a name brand. You know, but
right.
But you know, if Fox and you know. Chip agreed, but I'm not very hopeful of that. And
well, you're open to it. That's the first step. You're at least open to doing this and doing what the fans want. As you said, no one's getting any younger. I think that this is the fans want to see. Enuff's Enough was a much loved brand. I'm sure people watching this do realize how big it was, but to be invited to appear on David Letterman twice, countless appearances on Howard Stern, this was a big thing. And Howard Stern has rediscovered you, Donnie, lately. He's been talking about it. And it's funny what he says. He says, if Donnie is not the biggest singer in the world, these kids on American Idol should call it a day. And it is true. You have continued to write great music. I don't think you've ever put out a subpar product. Everything is really good. Maybe not as many people are hearing it. And hopefully we're going to fix that a little bit today. But yeah, obviously, from the original lineup, the three of you are still alive and active. Derek Frigo has passed away since, but I think fans would like to see that. And nostalgia is a big part of it these days. That maybe see a band that you didn't get to see, but in your case, regardless, there is new music. As far as I'm concerned, you are Enuff's Enough, and people go see your solo music, which is great. They'll also get to hear those songs. You're not going to skip out on that. Party time.
I'm gonna throw in, you know, the show that I'm putting together is for myself. we'll come, you know, focus on a lot of the solo new stuff and shit like that. And then there's a breakdown set where I bring a riser out in the middle of the venue and sit out there with a piano and acoustic guitar and sing a lot of these other songs, you know, that by myself, and then go back to the stage and rip through all the Enuff's Enough, you know, all the main ones, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm thinking about a 2.5, 3 hour show, you know what I mean? I just have some guy open with an acoustic guitar or something like that. But I want to put together a really great show. I want to give the fans something really great. And plus I want to get great players so that it sounds like the records, you know what I mean? And if I need backing tracks or whatever I got to do, I want these shows to sound like the records, because I've never played a show in my whole career that sounded like the record. You know what I mean? It's always been a very lazy approach to those concerts, and I'm not, you know, everything, the vision that I have is finally I can paint that the clear vision, the whole thing. You know what I mean? Is I have the right to do this, and I also have the material to do this, and I haven't played out rock and roll shows in 7, 8 years, you know, so I really want to do this. But and that's what I'm thinking of. You know, I got a new single and everything, and the Flash and all that stuff, and so I'm thinking maybe start booking them in the beginning of the year, you know, and project it to when we think it'll be okay to perform out there again, and plus in the States or wherever, you know, whoever will have me, and but just not a touring. You know, maybe in Europe and stuff, you got to tours. That makes sense. But, you know, do a couple good shows, really good shows, and then maybe some acoustic shows by myself once in a while, and do things that make sense, you know, that aren't just going to have me out there demoralized and killing me with, you know, more alcohol and shit like that. I got to quit the smoking, as a matter of fact. But yeah, I was getting ready to do all that shit as soon as before the COVID hit. You know what I mean? And this single I put out now, I was ready to put that out right when COVID hit, and obviously it wasn't party time at that time, you know. So since then I shot a video for it. Cadillac Productions, my old buddy Todd Closley, he used to drive our limousines, but then since then he's done movies with Michael Madsen and commercials and stuff. So he shot the video. He came and offered to do that, and we had a great time with it. It's like,
Donnie, let me talk a little bit about that video, because I saw it. It's incredible. Before I get into that, I want to say it's great to see you healthy, and you are surrounded by good people, like-minded people to put out good product. Party Time is the new single. It is the catchiest song for the last 24 hours. I can't get out of it in my head. If there's anything you do well, it's write a power pop song. You're the king of the power pop music, and it shows. This song is great. When I heard the name Party Time, I go, oh, man. This can't be good. What a party time. And then it's great. It's as catchy as anything you can imagine. But the video is so much fun. If anyone's a fan of the 1966 Batman television series, you guys parodied that show so well. And you're talking about that video a little bit. So fun. So tell me how it comes about, because this is not in this day and age, people are getting lazy and cheap and cranking out these videos shot on their phone. This is not the case.
Yeah, like I said, he reached out because I was going to do a video for, you know, I didn't have any money at the time to do anything. There's no label support or anything like that. So I was, you know, debating on having fans send in little clips of themselves partying and stuff, and then have my guy Lee Stokes put them all together with a vocal shot, you know, that you can go clip back and forth with. So I was asking the fans, send me in some party clips, and this I could put a video together. And one of the people that responded was, like I said, Todd Closley. He's shot in documentaries, and he's got all the equipment, and all the gear, and the crew and stuff. And he offered to do that for me, and I was like, of course. And he does promotional manager over at the Claremont Collection. It's a privately owned museum of cars and stuff, and the Batmobile was in there, and the Bat Cycle, the Batcopter. I'm like, you got to use the Batmobile in this, and you know how are we going to use it? How are we going to incorporate it in? Then one thing led to another, and before you know it, I got a whole cast of all the characters: Joker, Riddler, all this and that, and Batman, and my niece is playing Batgirl, and it's really funny. And we had, you know, I'm not taking myself as seriously anymore. You know what I mean? And as long as the music is great, I want to entertain, and I think it's very entertaining. I've been waiting so long to get it out. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I want to land a commercial or something with that song, you know.
Well, that song is screaming for a commercial or you know, a film. It's such a fun song. Great video. The link is in the description so people can watch it. I recommend it. Now, Chips Enuff is in the video playing bass. Was that the sort of before the dinner?
Yes, that was. And like right after we did that deal with Cleopatra, you know, for license all the Enuff shit. Yeah, it was. And to my impression and the way that it came across to me, we were back talking again. And because I was really, really angry at him. And like you said, it's, you know, giving attorneys and stuff, you know, to spend the money on things. The ends don't justify the means, you know. And they want so much just the retainers. And so I can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? So, and he knew that and he knows that, you know, so since I've got an attorney yet, but we'll see what happens there. But yeah. And so my bass player for my band is A.D. Zimmer, and he came down with lymphoma and he couldn't come out and make the video. And so, you know, I mean, the only bass player I know, you know, in the neighborhood is Chip. And so I figured that'd be cool. Just give him a cameo. People would like to see that. Fans would like to see that. And after the video was done, the video was so good that I retracted the song. I retracted in a better version. Chip's playing on it. The guy from Jellyfish is on it. He made me, Mike Dolan is mixing it. He had me replay all my parts and stuff because they're sloppy and I was a hack on it, but it came out great. And that's why Chip was in it. You know what I mean? I really had a lot of hope. I thought things were moving in a more positive direction, and just didn't seem to be the case, you know. And it makes me sad, you know, because he hasn't ever worked with me in this condition that I'm in, except in the very beginning, you know what I mean? And so he just was shut down to the whole thing. But that's all right. You know what I mean? I have the name over there and I can do it, and I'll do it. You know what I mean? If he wants to, we'll see what happens to his Enuff's Enough. You know, is that if I'm out doing something, but like I said, it's not my focus. You know, I want to put together a great show, and I want to go out and, you know, I'm getting older now, and I want to get around and do all that stuff and get it together and have fun with it. You know, it's just, I haven't been out touring in so long, you know, and that Beautiful Things record, which is the one that I'd finished up when I got out of there. It was a really great record and people love that record, but with the shitty label and there's no support and there's no money out there. So it was, you know, with the Pledge Music, that thing fell apart and those guys ripped off all the money.
Yes.
Yeah, I was, you know, I didn't want to give up on the record. So Party Time was going to be a new single in support of that record. You know what I mean? And so you come out to a show, there'll be a single that, you know, with all my favorite things on the back, and it was vinyl. We had some vinyl made already with the old label. So those are in the pre-sales, the first came, first serve there. I have these 45s because they sent them to me to autograph. And then after I bought out of the deal, I just kept them. And so the first came, first serve on the pre-sales, and they're getting one, you know, autographed and a 15-minute Zoom call. But
let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about that. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that bundle. So anyway, it was cool to see Chip in the video with you. It's a shame that it couldn't progress. Maybe things will change. Who knows? But we're talking more about your career right now, your solo career. And again, check out the video. But you have a collection, the Donnie Vie collection. This is pretty much all of your solo music and all your music in general on this flash drive right here. And you can go to DonnieVie.com and pick this up. It's incredible. If you're an Enuff Enough fan, but maybe don't know as much about Donnie's solo work, this is what you've been missing. You're going to love these songs, and this is a great package, great way to have it all. And you did offer bundles. By the time this airs, they will be gone, but you gave everyone a 15-minute Zoom call. You gave everyone a piece of vinyl. You really gave a lot for the pre-order, and there was only 100 of those pre-orders made. You're going to be spending the rest of your life on these Zoom calls, but you know that you gave fans what they wanted, which is obviously what you're trying to do. So I want to ask you about your songwriting process, though, because
I forgot there's videos, all the videos and stuff on there.
That's right.
There's also another whole record worth of brand new songs that I did in my, although I did them here in my home studio, but they sound great. And, you know, there's a whole new record worth of songs and some demos and rare shit and all the videos and everything. And plus this drive this is how it looks. It looks like a laminate. If you buy this, everybody, you can, it's for meet and greet and, you know, VIP and stuff at my shows, you know. So this is also, that's another thing that I'm featuring in it. And, you know, I was just looking to make some money to support things and pay promotion and stuff to get this thing floating more. And, you know, I'm not looking to make a killing on it. And people told me it was way too cheap, but I want people to have it. I just want the music out there. You know what I mean? And you make money doing shows eventually, or some other things, or get this song licensed or whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of bang for the buck here. And I'm looking forward to get out and supporting it.
Yeah. I mean, this is everything. You know, people are like, well, where do I find this record or that record? And your solo records, especially the early ones, can get expensive on eBay. They're getting harder to find. Now, for one price, everything's in the same place. And you really can catch up on these records that again, are great records. And that's all at DonnieVie.com. So about your songwriting, I want to know what your process is. I've written songs in my life. I want to write power pop songs like you. You're the king, Donnie. So a song like Party Time, how does it come about?
That one particularly was a lot different of a process than most of my stuff. Usually most of my stuff is it's like the powers that be out there throw these ideas at me, and then I sit down and work them out and let the song tell me what it wants to be, you know, and that's the vision. Then I sing them and stuff, and then they'll give me more ideas, and they come out of thin air like I've heard it before. You know what I mean? So I got the vowels and the syllables. I'm just trying to replace them with words and stuff and get that going. But Party Time was an idea that I had. I knew that the chorus was going to, with that double time thing, I knew the chorus was going to be catchy. And I probably had the idea for maybe 20 years of just, you know, the dan 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 and repeating it. But I didn't have any of the rest of it. And so I threw it back in the you know, the wood pile. And just as I was demoing the Beautiful Things record, that one resurfaced with the verses. And I was like, oh man, this is what I've been waiting for, you know. And it's there, you know, soul and Motown and stuff in it and stuff. And then there's the, you know, the chorus, the cheesy, but it's party time, you know, it's bam, bam, bam. And I really believe I always wanted to come up with a song like that. I want to rock and roll all night, party every day, ain't nothing but a good time. We will rock you, something like that. You could play the sports and stuff, but it just when the timing's right, then it came. You know what I mean? But you know, it's like people were telling me that's not your best song. You might want to release something else as a single. And I go, you're missing the point of why I'm releasing this song. And it's a party anthem. I mean, anybody that hears it, you know, gets into it. And, you know, that's what it's all about. It's connection with the fans, with people. Do you want to connect and hoping to connect with a bigger audience, you know? And if it does, it does. If it doesn't, maybe I can get a commercial or something with it. But I just want to give us one full push, going all out, and see what it can do, and see if we can change the level of activity, you know. But I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, I think so. A very commercial and very fun song. Fly High Michelle would be the biggest commercial song of your career. What is, and that is a song that you wrote on your own. What is the process for a song like that?
Well, that one in particular, Derek and I were partying. We had the demo studio over at my apartment, and we were partying like always. We would always, you know, stay out for days and stuff, cocaine, drinking. And on Sundays, they didn't sell alcohol in Chicago, you know. So I was walking to 7-Eleven to get us each a bottle of NyQuil, you know what I mean, to come down a little bit and stuff. And it's just the idea just hit me walking to 7-Eleven, you know, and just so happened I lost someone really important to me a long time, you know, a long time back. And so it fit, you know, it all fit together. And I came back to the apartment, brought the NyQuil and we demoed it out right there, and it was done in a couple of hours, because it just was, you know, the song told me what it wanted to be. And then I started playing it for the manager and playing it for different things, and they're like, this is the one, you know, with New Thing, of course. And so that's how that song came about. It doesn't matter what I'm doing when it tells me I'm a conduit. And I've heard a lot of other artists say the same thing, you know. If I sit down to write a song, it's just the same as anybody else sitting down to write a song. You know, you've got to struggle, figure out something, I'd love to collaborate with some other great artists. You know, have never really done that, you know, for one reason or the other, but I'd love to collaborate with somebody. I mean, 25 records, and I always keep the bar set high, you know, so think about the thousands that I didn't make records, you know what I mean? And I'd like to collaborate with somebody, and but that's the songwriting. When it comes, and I got to make sure I get that idea down, you know. And back then there was no cell phone with the voice recorder on it, you know what I mean? So I got to get to it right away, and that's where Fly Michelle came from.
Yeah. So you're not one of these guys who has a title and then writes backwards. The ideas come to you in different parts. Yeah,
they're usually like a chorus hook. Or most of a chorus hook, or a verse, you know, something melodic and something that catches my ear. That's like, oh, that's good. I can work with that and build that. You know what I mean? And of course, though, there's, you know, there's been times where I felt that something was sitting right next to me and writing with me. You know, writing back and forth. You know, it's like I like that idea. And then I'd be thinking to myself, there's nobody here. It's me. You know what I mean? Maybe the drugs took their toll on me and stuff. But I know that it's out there. I know that something's there. I have a knowing of that, and I, you know, I give credit where credit is due. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, a buffoon like me, how could I write all those great songs? You know, but this is a conduit.
Well, it's funny. It's not only so you write those great songs, but you can take other songs and make them great too. You had a little thing where you were doing cover songs. People could suggest covers, and you did a cover of a Taylor Swift song. And you made that your own. And not that it wasn't a catchy song to begin with, but you certainly put your own spin on it. Howard Stern had a song that he wrote about his wife called Bang O'Clock. And it was his terms for when he gets intimate with his wife. And you did your own version of it. Like I said earlier, Howard had been talking about you and sort of reminiscing about, you know, having Enuff Snuff on the show back in the day. And he's such a fan of your work. He's also obviously...
Yeah, they sent it to me. Would you be interested in doing a rendition of this? And I added a chorus, you know what I mean? It seemed like what they were saying was they're going to have other artists do it too for a goof, you know, but I added a chorus and turned it into a pretty cool power pop song. And I thought maybe it would get a little more mileage out of it than it did, but I can't use it. You know, I signed off on it. I'm not allowed to, I can't use it, but if you go to howardstern.com, you'll find it. You scroll up and you'll find it. Bang.
Yeah, he has the SoundCloud link, and you can hear the full track, and it is such a fun thing, and it's great to see him still talking about you guys, you know, yourself, and then having that song come out, because it is bringing more attention to you. Like I said, it's great to see you healthy, but also great to see the people around you. You've got a team helping you get this music out. The product is there, and now it's time. You know, obviously, like you said, the pandemic's been a bit crazy, but hopefully things are opening up and that you can get out there, and you're not living in the past. You're happy to do what the fans would like, and you'll play the songs, but there's plenty of new music left in you. And I think it's exciting to see what comes next. And this flash drive is really a great way for people to see what they're missing. It's affordable. It's everything in one shop.
Yeah, if you like one of my songs, then you'll love them all. You know, basically.
I have to agree with that, Donnie. Yeah, you're not going to be disappointed. I don't feel like you write filler.
Nah, all the filler doesn't make it to the record. You know what I mean? It's I'm a fan, number one, and so I set the bar high. You know, because my influences were brilliant things. You know, probably same influences that you had. You know, and you know, of course, you got that melodic thing in there, and that stemmed from originally from the Beatles. You know, so there's always this Beatles stuff correlated with my name. And if you love the Beatles, you'll love me. You know, but I'm not out ripping them or anything like that. But the influences, you know, I set the bar high, and if the song's not if something just feels like that part's not right yet, or that part's not exactly what I now in Enuff's Enough, there was a lot of songs that would, you know, because I wasn't the only one in control of all of that, and there was a lot of songs that you know, I can't listen to some of them, like that part or that thing, you know, it's like I could have done that so much better, or, you know, and but those things I get shut down on that too, you know, and it was a cock blocking the creativity. And so all of a sudden when I got on my own, you know, it's I'm able to paint the full vision, and like Beautiful Things was the first time I was able to telegraph my full exact vision of what I've always wanted to be, which even from the beginning, back in the early days of Enuff Enough, this is what I wanted to do. This is what I would have done. And, I think it came out really well, and it's got, full production and everything, but that costs a lot of money these days. And making records, the CDs are gone. Vinyl is coming back a little bit. We got to work with somebody to do vinyl. So I'm just doing them in my home studio now. And if I have money at the time, so it's the money from the flash drive, I can afford to pay Mike Dolan to, mix and make them sound like the good production, but you can hear the songs. The songs, it's all about having the right parts. When you have the right parts, it's like, I'm sure you've noticed that you'll just all of a sudden you hit that one part and it's like magic, like abracadabra. It's like, whoa, that's fucking cool, and because you got to be in the same genre as me, maybe a little bit younger.
Yeah, a little bit younger, but and maybe a little bit more punk rock as well. But I know
there's punk rock in what I do. That's the influence in the LA New Thing. That's very punk rock,
Yeah, I think so. I also think that Enuff's Enough, and I'm sure say this too, was marketed a little bit wrong. Obviously, the glam scene was in, and you guys got labeled in as a glam band, and that wasn't necessarily what Enuff's Enough did. It was more of a melodic band. Now, it helped in certain ways. Obviously, it got you on the Dial MTV and all these things. But I think obviously your music was a lot deeper.
That was the drummer and the guitar player. That's the way they approached us. And when they were it was like our management put the band together, and their look and the way they did, Vic Fox without the show stuff like Ricky Rocket type thing, and Derek with the building on his fucking head. You know what I mean? So we couldn't escape that, and it was not anything that I ever envisioned doing. But if you're halfway attractive and you put all that makeup on, you look great, and you're like, whoa, look at me and shit like that. But I got away from that fast. I wish I would have listened to my gut instincts. But who walks away from a huge multi-million dollar national record deal and videos and all that stuff? And I couldn't ever foreseen what that was going to turn into, and that makeup cost me dearly. We came out 1 month before the 90s, and we got lumped in with the 80s metal bands, but with that look and New Thing and Fly Michelle, I just wanted to be colorful and flamboyant. Chip and I were flamboyant. We weren't glam, you know what I mean? But then came Derek and Vic, and we were kind of keeping up with the Joneses, and I was really young. It's the first real band I'd ever been in was Enuff's Enough,
Yeah, absolutely. So I really appreciate your honesty and your how candid you are about your own life and your career. And I think there's still so much to look forward to. We want to remind everybody the single Party Time is available now. It's on YouTube. The link is in the description. Great song, really fun video. Again, if you're a fan of the 1966 Batman, you've got to see Donnie as Batman and all the cameos and things in the video. And then also the Donnie Vie collection, pretty much all of Donnie's music and the videos on this flash drive, and it's his solo career, Enuff's Enough, everything in one. And you can get that right now again at DonnieVie.com. Donnie, thank you so much.
Man, thank you so much. It's been a long time, and there's a few things that I must say, I'm a little bit embarrassed. I'm not ashamed of even my shameful things. It was my story, and I think it was hilarious. And I tell these stories to people every once in a while. You're a
survivor, Donnie.
Here I am.
You're honest about it, and you're a survivor. I didn't even get into how crazy some of these stories were. I gave the
yeah. What's the point of just doing a it might as well be the same interview every time you do just go through that thing. It's like I would appreciate watching an artist tell exactly the truth, and sometimes the truth isn't necessarily what everyone wants to hear, but I let you know right off the bat that I am telling the truth, is because if I'm saying these things about myself and letting the cat out of the bag on that stuff, why would I be making up this other shit? And it's I think that's the way to go, because people want to do an interview. You want to interview you. You want to know what you're asked the questions. You want to know the answers and stuff. And so, once I started just being myself and just natural stuff, I really telegraphed or really connected with the fans, and that's what I wanted to do. And Clive Davis told me, as soon as I do something that's not natural, I start taking away from what I do. And that rang rang in my head. And, you know, unfortunately, I didn't chill out on the drugs and alcohol for quite a while till it rock bottomed. And then there's another trap door and another rock bottom. And then I'd get so high, I'd pop up through the bottom of the next thing. You know what I mean? So,
what about a Donnie Vie book?
You know how hard that would be. You know, I mean, some of the craziest stories you could think of is a Tuesday in some of my periods of my band, you know, and periods of my career. And people always say that. And I want to focus on, you know, I'm not a book writer. I'm a focus on music and stuff. But I totally would love to make a book. There's no ending yet. You know, I need a good ending, and I don't want a sad ending, you know, and then he just disappeared, you know. I need an ending, but I need somebody, a good editor or something, and to steer me too. Because I mean, you see, I ramble, so that's how I would do it. You know, ask me a couple questions here and there, but if I sit down to think of the story and stuff, I'd lose my mind trying to, you know, I'm not responsible enough to do something like that. But it would be very interesting.
And to try to remember everything that happened, Donnie, that's a lot. You did a lot of living.
Well, when somebody tells, you know, when I'm talking about something and I'm reminiscing on something, like, and I like talking about the creative, then I remember different things that, you know, like your mind, it will wander. You follow your thoughts, and that's a lot of my thoughts I follow. I'm like, you know what I mean? You know, but a lot of them, you know, the creative and it's interesting and it's very entertaining. But that's how I would have to do it. You know, start with something, and then I would go off like this into different directions and things like that, because a book would have to be like a encyclopedia set.
Yes. Yeah. You have to record it and then have somebody go through it. I'll never drink NyQuil and listen to Fly High Michelle again quite the same. But and there's a million more of those cool stories. Donnie, thank you.
Had to dial it down. You know what I mean? Thank you very much. Thanks for still thinking of me after all that we've experienced together, and I really appreciate it, and I hope everybody be compassionate, be kind, and it's all about connection. You know what I mean? And thank you, all the fans, and thank you and everybody that giving me the support and stuff. And I'll continue to deliver and never let you down. Never let you down.
I look forward to seeing more of you, Donnie. Thank you so much. DonnieVie.com. Check out the Donnie Vie collection. We'll talk again.
Thank you, sir.